Join us as we give you a view of Newfoundland from up in the sky. Views from across the province. This is Scenes of Newfoundland.
Come all ye good people, I'll sing you a song about the poor people, how they get along. They start in the spring, finish up in the fall, and when it's all over, they've nothing at all, and it's hard, hard times. Go out in the morning, go on adrift still, it's over the side, you will hear the line nil. For out flows the jigger and freeze with the cold, and as for the starting, all gone in the hole, and it's hard, hard times. The fine sign of fishing we'll have by and by, the fine sign of fishing we'll have a goodbye. $7 for large and $6.50 for small. Throw out your West Indie, you've nothing at all, and it's hard, hard times. When you've got some washed and spread out for the dry, it'll take all your time for to brush off the flies. To keep off the maggots is more than you'll do. Then out comes the sun and it all splits in two, and it's hard, hard times. Then next comes the carpenter to build you a house. He'll build her so snug that you'll scarce find a mouse. With holes in the roof and the rain it will pour, the chimney will smoke and it's opened the door, and it's hard, hard times. Next comes the doctor, the worst of them all, saying, what is the matter with you all the fall? He says he can cure you of all your disease. When your money he's got, you can die if you please, and it's hard, hard times. The best thing to do is to work with a will, for when it's all over, you're hauled on the hill. You're hauled on the hill and put down in the cold, and when it's all over, you're still in the hole, and it's hard, hard times.
may talk of Clara Nolan's ball or anything you choose, but it couldn't hold a snuff box to the spree in Kelligrew's. If you want your eyeball straight and just come out and sweet with me, and you'll have to wear your glasses at the Kelligrew Soiree. There was birch rind, tart wine, cherry wine, and turpentine, jowls and cavalances, ginger beer and tea, pig's feet, cat's meat, dumplings boiled up in a sheet, dandelion and cracky seed at the Kelligrew Soiree. Oh, I bore Clooney's beaver as I squared my yards of sail, and a swallowtail from Hogan that was foxy on the tail. Billy Cuddihy's old working pants and Patsy Nolan shoes, and an old white vest from Fogarty to sport at Kelligrew's. There was Dan, Millie, Joe, Lily, Tan-Tan and Mrs. Tilly, dancing like a little filly, but raise your heart to see. Jim Brine, Dan Ryan, Flipper Smith and Caroline, I tell you boys, we had a time at the Kelligrew Soiree.
Oh, when I arrived at Betsy Snooks at night at 8:30, the place was blocked with carriages stood waiting at the gate. With Clooney's beaver on me pate, the first word Betsy said, here comes a local preacher with the pulpit on his head. There was Bill Hughes, Dan Hughes, Wilson Taft and Teddy Roos, but Brian he sat in the blues looking hard at me. Jim Fling, Tom Kings, Johnson champion of the ring, all the boxers I could bring at the Kelligrew Soiree.
The Saratoga Lancers first Miss Betsy kindly said, sure dance with Nancy Cronin and her granny on the head. Hogan danced with Betsy, oh you should have seen his shoes as he lashed old muskets from the rack that night in Kelligrew's. There was boiled guineas, cold guineas, bullocks' heads and pickaninnies, everything that catched your pennies you break your sides to see. Boiled duff, cold duff, apple jam was in a cup, I'll tell you boys we had enough at the Kelligrew Soiree. Crooked Flavin struck the fiddler and the hand I then took in. You should see just Clooney's beaver and it flattened to the rim. Oh, its coat was like a vest, the tails were gone, you see. Us as I, the devil Holly, and your Kelligrew Soiree. Here was birch rind, tart wine, cherry wine, and turpentine, jowls and cavalances, ginger beer and tea, pig's feet, cat's meat, dumplings boiled up in a sheet. Tell you boys we had a time at the Kelligrew Soiree. Tell you boys we had a time at the Kelligrew Soiree. Tell you boys we had a time at the Kelligrew Soiree.
Long ago I went away. Times were hard back then to find a brighter day. Travel far, many places I've seen, but my home's the only place I long to be. Still recall my younger days, fun and chores we helped in every way. Lots to do back in those times. With the little that we had, made it through just fine. Take me back to my home. From her shores I promise never more to roam. Take my hand and walk with me. Let's take a stroll through my old memories. Sad to see times go by. Houses boarded up, now empty inside. So many dreams now are gone. It's been years since I've been home, been way too long to taste the air and feel the breeze. or laying back and listen to the seas, sights and sounds of yesterday. Sure soothes my soul in every single way. Take me back to my own. From her shores I promise never more to roam. Take my hand and walk with me. Let's take a stroll through my old memories. One thing I ask when I die, take me back home and let my spirit fly. Bury me and mark my stone, here to lie for good and never more alone. Take me back to my home. From her shores I promise never more to roam. Take my hand and walk with me. Let's take a stroll through my old memories. Take my hand and walk with me. Let's take a stroll through my old memories.
In this world we all share, there's music everywhere, in the songs and the tunes that are passed on through the years. The notes are all around, in big cities and small towns, reflecting people's sorrows and their cares. Some of us play each and every day, while others sit and tap their feet and listen to the sound. Singing loosens up the tongue, dancing makes the heart feel young, as the melody echoes all around. Music makes us smile or cry for a while. It comforts you when tears are in your eyes. But for me my troubles end when I'm sitting with my friends, sharing the music in our lives. When we play the jigs and reels and see our friends kick up their heels and dance in the kitchen or in a crowded bar, it's a scene I do adore, and we'll always play one more on the fiddle, accordion or guitar. Music makes us smile or cry for a while. It comforts you when tears are in your eyes. But for me my troubles end when I'm sitting with my friends, sharing the music in our lives. So as I live on day to day, I hope I'll always play the music I love. It's become a part of me. And as this song comes to an end, sing the chorus with a friend, and I'm sure that you will begin to see. Music makes us smile or cry for a while. It comforts you when tears are in your eyes. But for me, my troubles end when I'm sitting with my friends, sharing the music in our lives. Music makes us smile or cry for a while. It comforts you when tears are in your eyes. But for me, my troubles end when I'm sitting with my friends, sharing the music in our lives. For me, my troubles end when I'm sitting with my friends, sharing the music in our lives. Sharing the music in our lives.
There's a noble fleet of whalers a-sailing from Dundee, manned by the British sailors to take them more to sea. On a western ocean passage we started on the trip, and we flew along just like a song in our gallant whaling ship. For the wind was on her quarter and the engines working free. There's not another whaler that sails the Arctic Sea can beat the old Paulina. You need not try, my sons, for we challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's.
I am a brave young sailor lad, my age is 17. I enlisted in the Navy for to serve the Queen. I enlisted in the Navy like another sailor man, for to hear the cannons roaring and the music so grand.
And the music so grand, and the music so grand, for to hear the cannons roaring and the music so grand.
They sent me off to London, all for to guard the tower. I'd probably be there yet to this very day and hour. But I met a fair young damsel, she begged me not to go, and I entered into marriage, I'll have ye all to know.
Yes, I'll have ye all to know, I'll have ye all to know. I entered into marriage, I'll have ye all to know.
Fare thee well, my captain, I'll say farewell to thee. Fare thee well, my shipmates, I will remember ye. And if ever the Navy wants a man, I will enlist again. I will leave the shore behind me, and I'll run the rigging again.
And I'll run the rigging again, I will run the rigging again. I will leave the shore behind me, and I'll run the rigging again.
'Twas 25 or 30 years since Jack first saw the light. He came into this world of woe one dark and stormy night. He was born on board his father's ship as she was lying to, about 25 or 30 miles southeast of Baccalieu. Jack was every inch a sailor, 25 years a whaler. Jack was every inch a sailor, he was born upon the bright blue sea. When Jack grew up to be a man, he went to the Labrador. He fished in Indian Harbor where his father fished before. On his return and in the fall he met a heavy gale, and Jack was swept into the sea and swallowed by a whale. The whale went straight for Baffin's Bay, about 90 knots an hour, and every time he'd blow a spray he'd send it in a shower. Oh, now says Jack unto himself, I'll see what he's about. He caught the whale all by the tail and turned him inside out. Jack just say.